Okay, week 7 of Human Resources, getting to the end here. Excuse me. You're going to read chapters 13 and 14 in your book, and you're going to be talking about progressive discipline this week. And we didn't really spend a lot of time on this, and this is going to take a lot of time as an administrator, knowing progressive discipline and how to respond to somebody. So if you got somebody that's in trouble and having a hard time, first thing you're going to do is you're not going to jump to a letter of reprimand. You're going to talk to them and say, hey, I noticed you're having trouble getting to work on time. It's really important that we get here on time because we have supervision of children. We can't leave 5-year-olds by themselves. I need you to come to work on time. That's it. You're just going to write that down. When you talk to them, what day it was, what time, and you're going to keep that for yourself, just so you've got a record of, I talked to this person on this day. If it continues to happen, then you're going to do a conference summary. So a little bit more formal. You're going to bring them in the office. You're going to talk about it again, and then you're going to tell them, I'm going to write this up and I'm going to send it to you, just so both of us understand that being late to work is not okay and that we've talked about it. You're going to keep a record of that too. Keep a record of when you talk to these people. If it continues to happen, person keeps running late, and it doesn't matter, my car broke down, you've got a record of several times that they're late. You're going to give them a letter of reprimand and say, we can't have this go on anymore. So I'm giving you a formal letter of reprimand. They will not like that. The first 2 conversations probably a little more friendly. The third one, not so friendly, but you're telling them these are the rules of our campus and you've got to follow them. This is what our contract says, and I need you to follow through and be here for kids. If that doesn't work, they're continually late after that, you're going to give them an unset evaluation. Then you may go for suspension without pay. And, if it continues happens and, kid gets hurt or something like that, you could work for dismissal. Now, they're probably not going to dismiss somebody for being late. But that's what you're working towards if you can't get the behavior to change. You're going to use this kind of progressive discipline for things that are minor. So, like running late, or failure to turn in things on time, or not remembering to take out the trash out of the portables. Those are things that you use progressive discipline for. It's not for the major things. So hitting a child, you're not going to start with a conference. You're going to go all the way to probably suspension without pay, or suspension. Get them off campus for a couple of days. I had a teacher that one time decided to give all of her CSTs in one day, even though she had signed the protocol and been through training, just completely violated testing protocols. And so she was put out for 2 weeks. They still pay them a lot of times when they're out, but it made a real big impression on her that this was not okay, and it was a major thing, not a minor thing. So progressive discipline, there's not a whole lot in our book, but there is a lot in your contract about progressive discipline, and if you really need more help, you would use FRISC, which is a way to follow the procedures through your district of making sure that they have the facts, that they know what the risks were for the school district, the information they need to have, how they're going to improve themselves, and the knowledge of how that broke the contract. So FRISC is a really great document. When you become an administrator, you'll go through that training because it gives you ways to write a conference summary, gives you ways to write a letter of discipline that your administrative offices would also help you with. All right. So you're going to make sure that you are giving me a time that you want to be in the Adobe room this week. Your team needs to get in there and practice their time in the Adobe room, practice that presentation, because each of you has to do part of the presentation, and to have that run smoothly and you only have 15 minutes to do your final presentation, you're going to need to practice. So tell me what time you want to be in the Adobe room. I'll get it set up for you and make sure that you have time to work in there. You're going to tell me your group. Only one group told me what group they're in, so I need to make sure that you're okay in your group. And if you have missed some of the discussion boards and you need to make up points, I think I've told you before, you can read one of the chapters in the book, summarize it in a full page, and send that to me, and I'll make up the points for the discussion board. But a couple of you need some points to make up, so make sure you do that. We're almost done. Next Tuesday, 5 o'clock is your final presentation, so tell me a time you want to be in that Adobe room so I can get you in there. All right, have a great week.